Selling your business is a big deal, but who's actually out there looking to buy? Today, we break down the different types of buyers, what they're looking for, so you can find the perfect match for your company. All right, we are back with another episode of Wealth Building Made Simple with Allison Rife Martin, CPA. What's going on, Allison?
You know, I would say it's the first week of October, which means I'm sure we're all getting ready for how many Reese's peanut butter cups we can eat by the end of October and not gain a pound. Which makes me think also too, with all the great treats, who can help us? Who are the types of buyers we're looking for to buy our business, and what things should we be considering as we start to consider selling our business?
Let's do it. Who are the buyers of businesses out there?
Well, actually, the I thought an interesting one that isn't really necessarily the most common, but an individual buyer, someone who is, obviously they might be business owners themselves, or they might just be thinking long term in terms of like legacy planning. How can I move from active income like a W-2 employee to I would like to have something a bit more passive where I would maybe want to invest in my business, maybe your business, maybe something that they just like. So those are, again, individuals who are really have like a long-term view of what their legacy planning looks like. So they don't want to be a manager. They actually basically want to sit back, eat the bonbons as the business owner runs the business.
Okay, so that's the first type of individual
So
buyer. Somebody looking
yeah,
to
so I
change it
think
up.
that's a good one. So if you were, so really when you're thinking about how you would go about finding someone like that, to me, that would be just going out to your network and say, hey, I'm maybe looking to sell my business. Do you know anybody who might be interested in a CPA firm or a financial advisor firm or a donut shop kind of a thing?
Got it. What's the second, another type of buyer?
I think this one's actually a really attractive one for you as the business owner to consider. It's a strategic partner. So someone who has a complementary service to you. So for example, like we were talking about earlier, say if I wanted to sell my business, I'd maybe want to look for, or somebody even just bring on as a partner, is like maybe a financial advisor, like an estate or tax attorney, someone who can help add value to my business and help me provide additional complementary services. So that might be someone who I'm looking for. So it could even be a competitor, if you're actually thinking about it. But I think that's a really good one. To me, that's the most interesting and probably the most viable one to think long term. So, I mean, what do you think?
Um, you know what? I tend to the artist in me keeps an open mind, right? Because you can't close my mind to inspiration. I just sort of think I want to know all the options, and then find the right that fits right for me, right? Because an individual buyer can be good, but a strategic buyer can be good as well. So
I was gonna say the one thing, like if you sit there and think about the individual buyer or even the strategic buyer, how much interest do you really want them to have in your business, or how active do you want them to be? Because when you do bring on an investor or someone to buy your business, you're giving up a lot of control,
yeah, yeah. Look, and look.
or maybe giving up a lot of control. How much do you want to give up?
You're right. I think in two terms. I go either I'm selling all of it or the majority of it, uh, or a minority of it, right? Meaning like I'm gonna be in control or I'm giving up control. And so once I give up control, that's sort of I'm like, hey, if I choose you, I think you're gonna be able to do better than what I did, right? And I get the money. And so that's I try to that's the way I think about it. I've never sold
I
my business before, so I can be naive. But
Oh, but I think it kind of goes back to what we've talked about before. If you're going to sell your business to someone who like wants to, like you're saying, sell the majority of it, you have to be ready to let go. So you have to have started with your business, right at the get-go, thinking in 20 plus years and 30 plus years, 100 plus years, whatever, who am I going to be willing to let take over and grow my legacy? Is it an individual person, and again, what are their goals too when they're looking to buy a business or invest in a business? A strategic partner, does that really make sense? What's the long term so that at some point I can exit myself out?
alrighty. I know we talked about two more types of buyers. What about the financial buyer? The financial buyer is probably the biggest one, right? Because there's a lot of like private equity and investment
Investment
groups. Those
firms.
are
Yeah, I was going to say private equity investment firms like you're talking about, and that's one of those. They have a very, I don't, I'd say short-term view. They're like, in 5 years, I want to recoup my money on average.
on
So
average.
what you have to really be sitting there thinking about is, how are they going to be good for you in short term and ultimately you personally achieving your long-term goal? Because again, their idea is how can I quickly recoup my money and then some. So you really have to be thoughtful about them. But it could be really great to have them come along to help you again. They'll come along as a partner for a while, helping you grow and scale your business. And then they too, along with you, have this great exit that they can help you get positioned for. So that's a perfect one to
Okay.
consider.
Okay.
And the last one is family offices and employee buyouts. And I personally think the employee buyout is commonly what you think of as like maybe an ESOP, an employee stock option plan. And I think we've talked about those before too. And I think you've talked about that maybe with a couple of other people on other episodes. But that's a great one if you have a strong team who you think can continue your legacy. So to me, that's a great one. But again, you kind of have to go back to the start of when you started your business, what was your end goal? And who do you think can be in the right place to help you grow your business? And do your employees even want to take it over? Kind of a thing. So that's another option for you to consider as well.
And I'll step in. I'll fill in about the family offices, and we can talk more about it in future episodes. But family offices, I feel like, is a underappreciated one because there's a if I were to, this is a general statement, so it's not always true. But you got like private equity, which is super professional capital, right? They may have a $200 million fund, a $1 billion fund, but they're like professionals, right? Then you may have somebody who exited from a tech company or, they got rich. They're not a professional investor, but they're rich. They got a family office, a couple hundred million, $300 million, right? And if you're a business owner, I'm trying to say it in a way that's like professional firms have a lot of layers to them,
Mhm.
but family offices have a lot less layers. And so they're underappreciated pool of capital because there's a lot of folks exiting and getting rich, sitting on a bunch of money and want to invest. And so that's a, very good pool of capital to look into.
That is definitely a good pool of capital to look into. But I think, again, when you're thinking of doing that, much like the individual, the private equity, the strategic partner, do their goals align with yours?
Right.
Like and maybe too, like what you might be lucky enough with a family office is they just want to invest.
Mm-hmm.
They just, they want to kick back and eat bonbons while you're, growing the business. And they, again, their goals align with yours. I think that's the most important thing to think about with any of these buyers. Are you all in alignment with the ultimate goal?
Absolutely. Any other key points? I mean, those, I think we wanted to kind of go through all of them and list out the general ones, and we'll go deeper for the rest of the month,
Oh,
diving
yeah.
into.
But I think probably to me, the big takeaway is uh, finding the right buyer is much like dating. You have to think, I mean, we laugh about it, but it's true. Obviously you're going to be together for a while and you have to make sure you like them, that you have the same goal, that you have the same philosophy of how to run a business, um, and that you all have a unique understanding of, what's their role in buying, investing in, partnering with you in your business, and are you okay with it? And ultimately, does it align with the goal you started with when you started the business?
Yeah, I like that because there's plenty of money, right? You don't want to marry somebody because they took you to Bob's Steakhouse or whatever. Like you,
Yeah, sometimes the best buyer you could find is at a Dairy Queen.
on that fine note.
On that fine, all I meant is you have to be, like you said, you have to be open-minded. You have to be willing to, but it's more important to make sure that you pick the person who is, in alignment with your goals for the business.
I would agree. I would agree. Let everybody know how they can reach you if they want to start the process of thinking about succession planning for their business.
You can reach me at my website, rafemartincpa.com, or you can email me at info@rafemartinaccounting.com. And I would love to talk with you about this and any other topic. But this
Thanks,
was a great episode. Thank you so much, Philip.
thank you, Allison.
Philip Washington Jr. is a registered investment advisor. Information presented is for educational purposes only and does not intend to make an offer or solicitation for the sale or purchase of any specific securities, investments, or investment strategies. Investments involve risk and, unless otherwise stated, are not guaranteed. Be sure to first consult with a qualified financial advisor and/or tax professional before implementing any strategy discussed herein. Past performance is not indicative of future performance.